So I decided to show this character that I had thought up of when I was in quarantine. And this was early in quarantine. So this is based off of a lot of the anime I watched, a lot of nightmares that I had, a lot of anxieties and mental preparations that I had to deal with, and a few things that are both based off of my life and certain things that I was consuming at that time, and kind of mashing it into one. I don't think I'm ever gonna plan on turning this into a huge story, but I wanted this to be a thing that I did in order to kind of acknowledge this character's existence and still kind of solidify her in a public place. So this is Nguyet, and she is a werejackal who at the moment is living in the midst of the Central Valley with her younger sibling. You're gonna hear a lot about her story, and I will say that a lot of this story is based off of a lot of things that I've seen through traumatic experiences of characters that I've seen, and as I said before, my own fears and anxieties and thoughts that I've had about life in general, how my life was going to be like in the future, and how I would respond to a lot of situations that might not mirror hers, but I kind of mentally prepare to happen more or less. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, I do have a list of trigger warnings, and if you aren't ready for that, then you could just skip to the end or watch the art process on mute if you're only here to see me draw. I also do want to add in credits here because it ended up being so long of a video clip that I just couldn't throw in another credits line. I recorded this through my iPad with Procreate as my sketchbook, and I use the paintbrush set by my friend Jelly Ramos, who I would link down in the description. And I also decided to edit using iMovie, and every single sound except for the sound of a phone dropping at the end was all done by iMovie. And whatever background music that I did is also done and found in iMovie, which I have done my research is licensed by Apple, therefore it's fair use. I hope you enjoy the story and the sketch if you decide to move on. I've listed the trigger warnings in the very beginning of this entire thing to ensure that everyone feels safe and comfortable listening to it. And I hope you have a good time. The next thing I'm gonna do is going to be so much lighter, so don't even worry about it. And I hope you have a really good listen and enjoy the rest of the storyline. Thank you so much for giving me the time to listen and the opportunity to kind of do this. And yeah, so it's going to begin very soon, and I'll see you next time. Thank you again. Trigger warnings for mentions of mild gore, parental death, physical assault, animal abuse, implied familial homophobia, and mentions of church and religion at the very end. Well, I've been putting this off for far too long, so might as well just start doing it now. This is the most procrastination I've ever done in my life. But better late than never, right? I don't know, I'm talking to myself again. Let's just start. I'm sorry, Mom. Yes, this goes against everything you believed in, but this is no longer your story. I hope you could still find honor in me, whether that honor is through my actions or will to always be there for my family. Or it can be through me finding community in people who I love. And if you were still alive right now, might grow to love. Or not, maybe that might just be my wishful thinking. I changed my name since you last heard of me. Ever since that incident, the name Elena doesn't suit me anymore, as it meant to beautiful, and you might see me as such, but I no longer want to be seen that way because me being beautiful killed you, and it also took away my only connection to you as a werejackal. So much was happening at once that day. It was all so painful. Seeing you dead and them physically trying to extract blood from my body or plasma. I don't really know what they did with it afterwards, if they replaced it with human plasma or they just left me be and my body just readjusted. You know, the blood of a werejackal is twice as much as one of an average human. But whatever happened, I'm not able to transform anymore. And that scar that they left on my forearm, I hated it. So I decided to cover it up 2 years later in college with dry wheat that we used to run on and the night sky that would glisten above us every night. Because even though I know if you were still alive right now, you would kill me for getting this on my arm and fears of me looking trashy, whatever that means, I would rather keep the memory of you and the moments where I was able to be a jackal than I would remember that time ever again. I miss transforming. I really do. I miss being able to feel the wind against my paws as I ran and hunted for food in the local fields by our house. I miss all the times I was chasing after you, running to find you, playing with you. Heck, I even miss all the times I was forced to save Lupin every time they got into trouble, getting their snout stuck in those little mole tunnels or running away from a spider. Oh yeah, Lupin gave me full permission to say this, but they're non-binary and use they/them pronouns. I don't know how you feel about that either, but I'm gonna be honest, it's their life, and that's what makes them happy. I don't know how you feel about that, but personally, over anything else, the last thing you should care about is that, because they're so happy right now. There's something I should tell you about myself too, but before that, I think it would make sense to go to the beginning. I just graduated high school at that time, and you know that your will money, as much as it wasn't able to pay off any mortgage, so we needed to give up our house. The neighbor decided to give us space in their house for a month until we found a place to live. So I found a small apartment home in the Central Valley that was worth $1,200 a month, including all amenities. Mom, do you know how rare it is to find an apartment that cheap? And before you ask, yeah, it was pretty run down. But we were able to fix it, and I chose to go to Davis because of how close it was to the apartment. I hated it there, but I knew going to UC would make you happy, and it was free with my full ride scholarship. I decided to major in art studios and minor in communications. I know it's not your ideal major for me, but it's something that I love to do and just needed to do so that I could live my life to the fullest. I did everything I could do to make you proud. Along with art commissions that I still receive, I decided to also work part-time at a local coffee shop and be a teacher's assistant, if that helps. To save money, Lupin would hunt down fresh meat. They think it'll help me regain my ability to transform again, but personally, I don't know if that's true. I know that you would constantly force both of us to eat fresh fruits and vegetables when you were alive, so I get what's left of the rent money to buy fruits and vegetables at the local farmer's market as well. Okay, here's my confession. Every single time I would go there, one of the people who would sell their vegetables would be there, and she'd greet me with a smile. She's so beautiful. I don't think I could describe her to you, Mom, because if I say things like long black hair tied in a bun or beautiful deep brown eyes, I think you'd joke and ask if that were me. I promise we don't look the same at all, because the way she glows gives this bright golden aura that I don't have, and the way she smiles and wishes me to have a nice day as she sneaks one more free vegetable from her stand before I leave and almost drop my basket. It's okay. I know I'm infatuated, but this isn't the first time I felt this way before about a woman or anyone who isn't a man. I felt this pain for many, many people. The ache, the excitement, the disappointment, the fear. I can't say I regret telling you because I was a teenager and needed a home, but it's good to send this out to you now. Don't cry too hard, Mom. One of us would have kids sometime, and it was never going to be me anyways. And if it helps, I graduated with honors and had a bachelor's. And I ended up being an apprentice tattoo artist with my own merch store. I take time to do mutual aid and activism work regularly too. Okay, so hear me out. I get paid $35 an hour, not including tips, and it'll go up to $50 if I keep on going, which also doesn't include tips. My merch store makes me a good $200 a month on a bad day, added to everything else, and I am able to pay for rent, supplies, and food, and therapy. Yes, Mom, I go to therapy, and before you ask, yes, rent is going up, but I'm not doing this alone anymore. Lupin still gives me meat, but it's because I'm also helping them with college and medical expenses now. They're in Davis too with animal studies and will graduate very soon. And they're also helping us pay rent. They have a part-time job as a TA. They have an extra room here too, but usually prefer time in the fields, which they probably do that so that they could find a way to connect with you more, Mom. I know I would if I could. And as the activism stuff, it's the right thing to do. It's what I want to do and need to do. The orgs around me have done a lot to help me and Lupin get to where we're at now, and I want to do that for other people because I can. And don't worry, I do whatever I do to make sure they are safe. My senses are still sharp, and I can still hear from counties away. I need to make sure they're safe somehow, and for the sake of you somehow panicking in the afterlife wherever you are now, I'm going to say that I do sleep at night, so don't worry about it. It's not as if I'm allowed to drink coffee anyways, right, Mom? Anyways, they are safe and trying to take care of young orphan pups hiding in the mountains in the meanwhile. I didn't know so many of them would be here, but there were a lot back home, so I shouldn't be shocked. Sometimes when I go home early from my shifts, I would sit down and watch them play with the pups. They found a place to hide from neighbors, but those neighbors are mostly college kids, so they probably wouldn't even care or notice. Anyways, they found another cavern to sleep in with the pups too, and Mom, it reminds me of the moments where we would spend our nights there because Lupin was too tired to walk back home. Sometimes I would go outside and ache to be there, but I know I can't. And as much as I miss that life, there needs to be a way for me to move on from it. I still think I should be able to mourn, though. I'm still mourning. Also, back to the girl I was talking about. Lupin forced me to talk to her today, and now we're meeting at a local In-N-Out. Tomorrow evening, though, for a date, and I'm so nervous. Mom, when I tell you I don't know how to talk to a girl, I mean it. Her name is Bethany, by the way. She's 23 like me and seems interested back. That's all I know. Heck, I didn't even know the last part until Lupin forced me to ask. They're never there in person. They just cry out to me when I drive to the market in a very annoying way. no straight girl would stare at another girl that way, and you got us free spinach, they say, which I respond with, spinach is only 50 cents per stalk. And then they reply with, yeah, 50 cents that they could gain. Well, thank God they're right, maybe, and I'm on a date. Maybe not one that you want me to be in, but I know who I am because I'm an adult now, and all the stuff that I don't know, I know that I'll eventually learn. I know you might be afraid of my safety, and to that I say, I went through 7 years of hell, still alive and okay enough to take care of myself with the trauma and the stress, and maybe I haven't been physically taking care of myself that well, but I'm still okay. I really don't know why it took so long to visit you, but it was a long time coming, and I knew I should have. I finally am driving back to the church that we were at to bury you 7 years ago. I'm sorry it took so long, but the church did offer to give us that spot for free, which I guess that's nice of them to do, but I'm not sure if they would do it if it weren't for the fact that you would pay them money every month or week. I don't know, you don't tell me this stuff. I'm also not going to tell you whether or not the two of us go to church anymore because I'm sure you don't want to hear that answer. I was told by everyone that you would be happy as long as I live a happy life. And as I said before, I'm doing whatever I can to make sure I am happy. I'm still able to pay rent. I get to do what I love. I might be able to be with someone who can make me happy. I don't know if the feeling of happiness is something that people can achieve consistently, but I could say that I'm comfortable. I'm content, and Lupin is as well. I have a roof over my head, a good place to sleep, people who love and support me in a community, someone who I could potentially love, and a family, which still consists of you, even if I can't see you anymore. I hope you see that from wherever you are, even if you might not fully accept that. I love you, Mom, and I know that you are always there for me and love me too. Even though I don't know if it would be the same way if we were both alive and able to be jackals running across the fields again, but times are different now. Life isn't what it used to be, and that's something that I need to adapt to so I could protect my clan. I'm sorry if I ever disappointed you because of the decisions I make. I know you think your high school valedictorian girl would probably have a future so different than mine's now. I can imagine you blaming yourself for this, and I'm here to tell you not to, because this is who I am and wanted to be for a very, very, very long time. Even before all of this happened. And honestly, I don't know if I would feel happy if I were anything else otherwise. A wise woman once told me that as a woman, we need to do whatever we can to prove ourselves to be worthy, because the world forced upon us makes us seem like we're not. And even so, we might not be able to prove it to them. And you're right, Mom. But I hope that this note will prove to you that I am worthy. And if not, feel alleviated to know that I am in the process of finding myself to be worthy. And I think I could vouch for Lupin and their pups too. And I think they find me worthy. And honestly, I don't give a shit about anyone or anything else for the most part. I'm working on that too, but I'm just getting better and will continue to get better. And when I say better, I don't mean richer or happier or to where I was before. Just enough for it to suffice for me and to be able to help other people. I hope you understand this, and I hope this is okay with you. Hey, yeah, I think I'm ready. How about you? Oh, oh, okay. How about I'll make us some snacks and you can come back, meet me at the front, take a shower, and then we can start to get going. Okay, awesome. I'll see you there. Love you. Okay, let's get ready. Mom, if you're hearing me now, I love you. I'll see you soon.